Hey everybody, Chiron here, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio. Definitely got a lot of support last episode, so it looks like everybody is enjoying the series. Just great to see. I'm glad that, sometimes when you start a new game, you never know if people are going to watch it or if they're really going to be interested. Especially with a game like this. A lot of today's people playing video games, they want 3D graphics and all that, but sometimes it's just nice to have a top-down, kind of very simple map where you can just kind of do whatever you want, real leisurely play style. So, where we left off last time, we got a little bit of our production in place. So we've got our stone furnace here and an automatic production of iron plates. So we need to do the same thing for our copper over here. And then we need to start producing materials out of that. So let's see what we want to do here. First thing that we need to do is get our research up and running. So to do that, we need this right here. We need a lab. We do have all the materials available, so it's just iron plates and copper plates. It'll produce our copper coils, our electronics, and our gears. And while we're at it, we might as well grab some coal here and get this guy up and running again. And get some copper plates in production too. We don't need a whole lot of copper plates, so I'm not too incredibly concerned about getting those automated quite yet. But our lab is definitely going to be a priority. Alright, so the lab doesn't really require any kind of resources to be automatically put into it at the moment. We don't have the ability to produce the green bottles yet for research, so we'll just do it manually for the time being. Then we can scale up as we go. So what do we need? The assembling machine is definitely going to be high priority for us, and the long-handed inserter. Two very, very important things for early game automation. Let's see, we could probably use some defenses. And walls are important, but not immediately important. Steel is pretty important as well to produce some better tools and things like that. So let's go with this first. So the first one we want to do is automation. We get an assembly machine and a long-handled inserter. And once we actually get those, I will explain what they do. So we need 10 research bottles. So we get 10 of those crafted up. Once we got our first one, I'm going to get it working. It does take a little bit. It takes 10 seconds per bottle. So you want to get them working. Eventually, it does take quite a long time to get stuff produced. So you want to make sure that you have multiple labs all working simultaneously to get it. But actually, why don't we do that? Let's build another lab. We have plenty of resources. So just get some copper plates. And once our science packs are finished, we'll put in a second lab and increase our productivity here. Lab research is something that's going to be ongoing pretty much for the entire series. There's really no time where you stop producing things from here. So might as well make it efficient. Alright. So while we're at it, we can produce a few more of these. And we'll do a few more stone furnaces. Might as well do 10. So we'll do 10 inserters and 10 stone furnaces. Alright, so we got you up and operational here. You actually being powered? You're being powered. So if you hover over a building, you can see up here that it put a blue outline around that, meaning it is actually getting power. Alright. So let's go ahead and increase our productivity here. So we're going to do inserters from the line to the arrow. 1, 2, Alright, so then we did finish our automation research, which is good, and then it automatically pops up and asks you to do another research. You can escape out of this if you want, if you're busy doing something else or you want to think about it, and then just hit T to get back in here. So we've already got our automation research, so we can do our assembly machine and long-handled inserters. And what do we want to do next? I think next we want to do gun turret. It only requires 10 bottles, which is really nice. Some of these require a lot of bottles. Like this one right here is 50 red and 50 green bottles, which is just absurd. So I would recommend you do not do that one right now. So just stick with the stuff that has the lowest bottle count, and then kind of go from there. All right. So we'll gonna have to restructure this a little bit. Just gonna erase those for now. We'll get some more of these in place. Actually, we can't put them there for a reason I'm going to be explaining in just a moment. So, Alright, we're gonna have to redo this a little bit. We'll do there, there, and then move these. And then we'll do there and there. Put those in place. And then we'll do our power poles. Is that being powered? That is being powered. There. Alright. And the reason for that is we need some room for these long-handled inserters. So, what these long-handed inserters do is they can take resources from much further away. So instead of the line and the arrow being right next to it, it can reach all the way across and grab materials. So we'll do there, there, oops, there. And then if we put our power pole back in place, there we have it. So now what these will do, so the reason that I put these two conveyor belts right next to each other is these long-handed inserters will feed charcoal into these, and these short ones, the regular inserters, will feed iron into them. So we really never have to stock these ever again. These are going to run continuously until our chest fills up with iron. So it's just a great way of getting resources. Alright, so produce a couple more of those, a couple more chests. And we'll need to do some of these. These we can put in between because we don't need any long-handed inserters for over on this side. Alright, chest, chest, chest. There we go. Do some inserters here. Do some inserters here. And we'll need one more. Now these won't be able to get any kind of coal resource, unfortunately. So we'll have to do a little bit of fanciness. We'll need... yeah, we'll just make max of those. Why not? Or do I want to do that? I think four's probably pretty good. Let's remove these. Ooh, actually, I forgot about our science packs. Alright, so we need 10 more of those, and we'll remove these while we're at it. And it looks like we don't have our pick anymore. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start production on copper plates. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We'll put those there. Leave a blank. And then we're going to... Let's see, where do I want to put these actually? Oops. I'll start them down here. So we do 1, 2, 3. And we'll come on over here. There we go. And then remove that. Alright. So now we have so many furnaces that our iron production is too low. These furnaces just aren't being used. These are able to keep up with the production. So then we need to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. So every time you upgrade one thing, you gotta upgrade something else. Alright, so we'll get those working. You can see right up here what our progress looks like. It's going super duper fast now that we have 2 of these labs. Eventually I probably want to make, I usually go with 5 labs. 5 labs you can kind of keep up with it using 2 of the automated assembly machines. But, you know, kind of to each their own. You can obviously do as many as you see fit. Alright. So let's redo this a little bit as well. Put that there. Destroy that. Put that in. And then we need more of these. Put those through there. And there you have it. So as easy as that. So we have turrets now. And let's see what else we want to get. Electronics are going to be important because it's going to unlock just a ton of different options. I think electric energy distribution is going to be something that we really want to work on because we need these medium electric poles. They have a supply area of 7 by 7 instead of 5 by 5, so it just makes base planning a lot easier. Steel production is also a good one because it gives us oil processing and some other things. And actually we need it for our medium electric poles. So let's get working on steel. That'll give us the ability to have a steel axe, which will help out when we're manually farming resources and removing buildings. And it uses less science packs, so it only uses 20. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's get that up and operational. So doubled our output there, and it looks like these are out of fuel. Honestly, I'm just going to destroy these. I don't feel like coming down here and stocking them. It's just not worth it. Alright. So let's get our copper production up. Do you, and there we go. Alright, so that'll start producing copper, and we need something else which we don't have unlocked yet. So this design will make sense in just a second. Actually, let me redo that. I'm going to, instead of doing steel right away, we're going to do logistics because we need these underground belts. So let's get that up and operational. We'll restock our iron and copper plate supply. Start production on that. Yeah, so the underground belts are definitely going to be super important. And we have energy distribution right now, so we don't necessarily need the medium poles, but we definitely need the underground belts. And we definitely need a sip of tea because my throat is bothering me. Alright. Yeah, we'll leave that there. We'll take that out. So I just can't be bothered to fill those. And we have, let's get some more stone. We don't need a lot of stone, but it's nice to have when we need it. Alright, so logistics requires 20 bottles. So it's going to take considerably longer. And I think it was longer per bottle as well. Yeah, it's 15 seconds per bottle instead of 8 seconds. So it requires twice as many resources and twice as long to research per bottle. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing your planning. And then eventually, once you get into the more advanced stuff where you need levels 3 science packs and 4, you need 400 total science packs to be able to do this, and it's 30 seconds per bottle. So it's it gets up there. It definitely gets up there. Alright, so how is our production going? So you can see performance is peaked right now, and electric demand satisfaction is kind of going into the yellow a little bit. That means that we need to do another steam engine while we're at it. So we'll get a steam engine in place. Logistics is going pretty quick. Like I said, we have our 2 labs here, which really speeds it up. We could potentially put in, all 5 labs right now, but it's not going to be super important at the moment. Alright. So we'll put in a second steam engine. We just drop it in, and look at that. Performance went way down to about, was that about 25%? And then our electric demand is peaked at green. So we are good. And temperature is still 100 degrees. We can put in 2 more here and still have 100 degree temperatures with the 6 boilers that we have up top. Alright, how are we doing over here? Need to steal one of these, and then that should do it for us. There we go. So now we can get into our electronics and our steel. We'll do steel right away. Alright, actually gonna cancel those. We'll do some of these. So we need 4 underground belts, and it makes 2 underground belts per craft, so we only need 2 of those. And then we'll go back into producing the red bottles. Alright, so the way these work is they will take a conveyor belt, make it an underground belt for a number of squares, I don't remember exactly. So all you need to do is just match up the arrows, so you can see that the arrows in here are continuing to go underground, and then it can go up to that far. So 4 underground with the above ground next to it. So we'll just do like that, and it goes right under this belt, and away you go. There is a way that you can do this as well without using those if you're kind of in a pinch. And let me show you that real quick. Another way that I like to do it, it limits the amount of resources, so you can split resources between 2 belts, or you can move resources from one belt to another without using all of the resources. So like if I wanted to take this iron and split it off into a secondary belt for another process, I don't want all of these resources going on that belt and then completely starving these. I want to do it kind of slowly. So you can do that by using a belt and a long arm inserter. So what this will do is it'll slowly move resources over without moving the entire line. So like if I wanted to do something like this, I'll just make a bunch of those. So what this would do, most of the resources are still going to go over here, but it's still going to take a couple of resources and feed them onto this belt. So it's a nice early game method of splitting materials before you do your researches. So let's get those all picked up again, and let's do this the correct way. But there you go. So eventually, once you get your automated production really like top notch, I would recommend using that method to split materials across kind of long areas. So what I'll typically do is I'll have one main conveyor of materials coming up, and then you can use one of these splitters. This will do a 50-50 split. But sometimes you want like 90% of your materials to go one direction and 10% to go to one particular production building. You can do that with these inserters. And then at the same time, you can do the fast inserter too, which will increase the amount of materials that it sends to that one belt. So you can really do it however you want. It really depends on the situation and how much room you have and what your setup is. So let's get this up and operational. You can use an inserter on the underground thing here, so you don't have to like give it a 1 block clearance or anything like that. So let's get those in place. We'll do you and you. And we'll need to wait for this guy. So let's just feed this manually for now until we get the medium poles. Because logistically, we just can't provide electricity to that until we get our steel processing up and running. All right. So I do apologize. Unfortunately, commentating and kind of explaining some different strategies and things does take my attention away from other things, so it's going to be a little bit slower than if you're doing it on your own. Not a whole lot I can do about that. It's just kind of what happens when you commentate. So some things may suffer, you know, like these were not operating when they should have been, but just bear with me. Bear with me, please. All right. So we don't really need these anymore. Let's go ahead and destroy them. So we have our automation in place. And let's get these up here. I don't actually know how to destroy that rock. I'm guessing you need explosives. So I don't think you can put a burner on it. Nope. So I think we probably need explosives to be able to destroy that. So we'll just ignore it for now. All right. So we'll get our inserters in place here. We need 2 more of these. Get our bottles up in here. That won't work. Let's do... Alright. Now we need electronics. Another 30 bottles. Long arm inserter. Long arm inserter. And 2 furnaces. Now we need a couple more small electric poles. And there we go. Oops, these are backwards. Definitely important, line to arrow. And then we'll need 4 more of our inserters, and then we do have 4 chests available, which is good. Couple more power poles here. Get everything powered up. And start working on these again. Alright. So I think our automation of resources is doing pretty good. And now we need to start manufacturing. And we have just enough time to get into that before the end of this episode. So when we need to create these science packs, we need copper plates and we need iron gear wheels. Instead of creating those in our crafting inventory here, we can actually automate production using the assembly machine. So we're going to do an assembly machine. And this was part of the logistics thing that we researched earlier. So it's one of the reasons that I got it right away. So what we're going to need to do is create one of these. And we're going to do a couple more inserters. Because we need to get this guy in place. And we actually need another one to be able to produce these red bottles automatically for us. Actually, let's put it down here. All right, so I'm going to get all of this in place. So now what we can do is we can produce our red bottles in this building. It'll take the red bottles, put it on the conveyor belt, and then the conveyor belt will take it to both of these labs, and it'll stock them for us. Now we need another assembly machine down here. We need another inserter. And what we can do from here is we need iron gears and copper plates. We don't have iron gears being produced at the moment, so we need to start producing those. Now we need an inserter here, and a conveyor belt, and we need more conveyor belts. Like I said, just make an absolute ton of conveyor belts. You'll always run out. Alright. So, we'll do it like that. So now what's going to happen is the iron's going to come here, go into the furnace, go into this chest, and this chest is going to store the overflow. And then, as needed, it's going to place those iron plates onto this conveyor belt to supply this building with iron plates so it can produce iron gears. So it produces iron gears, it's going to take them from the inserter into this building and put the iron gears in here so it can start producing the science packs. Now we need one other thing, and that is copper plates. So we have copper plates over here, and we'll need to do an underground belt. And we'll need a bunch of inserters. So we'll do like that. And then there. Turn that guy so it all matches up. Inserter to bring those from the crate onto the belt here. We do an underground belt over here. And then we just need to get this guy around here. So let's actually do it right there. So we'll do up there, over here, and then down there. Get these turned. Get an inserter here. And there we go. So that is all of the infrastructure that we need for this entire process. So we'll do that, that, and that. Get everything powered up, and just sit back and watch it go. So this is putting iron plates into here to make iron gears. It's putting the iron gears and the copper plates into this building, which is making science packs. Taking the science packs, putting it on this conveyor belt, and feeding these two buildings. So it's a little slow to begin with, but you can always increase the speed with higher level buildings. So this is an assembling machine 1. It's going to go a little bit slow, but not much we can do about that for now. Now that we've automated our research is going to go a ton faster because we don't have to babysit it and use up our personal crafting to make bottles. We can make other production. Alright. So it's looking like we don't have enough production over in our copper area, so let's go ahead and put a second electric mining drill over there. There we go. And that should do it. So we have 2 drills for iron, and that is pretty well keeping up. It's not perfect. This last one kind of gets starved a little bit, but it's not too bad. Right now we don't need an absolute ton of production, though. Alrighty then. So let's give this a little boost. Since this is producing a little bit slowly, it is producing enough for both of these, but this one's getting starved. So we'll just give it a little bit of a helping hand. But automation is definitely the name of the game. Alright, so now this is fixed. We have all 4 of these furnaces running fairly efficiently. And that one should go up and feed that one. So the last one again is getting starved a little bit, but not much we can do about that. For now, at least. Alright. Put you in place. And there we have it. So now that should be enough bottles with what we put in there and then what was being produced to get electronics. Alright. And potentially what we could do too is just put in another one of those assembly factories or assembly machines and get that working. But actually we might do that. Why not? So now we do have the prerequisites. So we have electronics and we have steel to be able to make our medium electric poles. And that does require, that requires the green science packs. That might be something that we don't want to tackle quite yet. What do we want to do? Automation. We could do an assembly machine level 2. Produces faster. Or we don't need to get into logistics quite yet. Steel furnace would definitely be a good choice. That requires green packs as well. Let's get all of the red pack researches done. So let's do armor crafting. And once we get all of the red pack only research done, then we'll start working on green packs. Those green packs are pretty complicated. It requires an inserter and a transport belt. And to make an inserter, you need the 2nd level assembly machine. So it's not something that we can automate quite yet. We would need some more research for that. So, yeah. So why don't we do it this way? We'll do another assembly machine. So this is overproducing iron gears. These produce really fast. It takes half a second to produce one. This takes 5 seconds. So this is sitting idle most of the time. So what we can do is we can put another assembly machine right here. Get it powered up. Do our yeah, so let's do an inserter here and an inserter here. So that was pretty quick. We'll do this one, so 40 logistics to get that assembly machine too. And we might as well start working on some of these packs because we're not actually manufacturing anything right now. Alright. We'll do that. And then we'll do that. And there we go. So now what this we can do is we can do more red packs. Oops, I did that wrong. We need to do it this way. So put an inserter there, get this powered up. And what these inserters will do is you don't need anything here. It will just pass from one inserter to the other. So that's a pretty efficient way of doing it. Alright. And then we need... We'll do one of these. We'll do 2 more of the underground belts to go there, and then connect it up here. Put an inserter there, and there we have it. So now we have one building producing the gears, feeding both of these buildings. Actually, this is not working. Why is that? Oh, because this is not able to produce plates fast enough to supply this belt. Alright. So we will need to make one more electric mining drill so that we can increase our iron production. We could potentially pull the iron plates from one of these other chests, but I would rather just increase our production altogether. So it's producing plates. That's going in here for the gears. It's feeding gears into both of these buildings. It's feeding copper plates into both of these buildings. And then both of these buildings are feeding this belt with these research packs. And there we go. So we just doubled the speed of our research, which is definitely cool. So we're at about that time. Actually a little over time now, but hopefully y'all like a little bit longer. Ew. We're gonna have to move our iron production to a bigger deposit. That's gonna have to happen next episode. So I think we're gonna have to start tapping in to this bigger deposit over here because this one just isn't able to do it for us. We could, we could utilize this and have those coming from multiple places, but I just want to have a permanent mine put in place. It'll be much easier. All right. So we'll get these fully fed, so we don't have to worry about powering that for now until we get the medium poles. And that should do it. Oh, yeah. Looks like we're going to have to do the same thing up here with our copper plate production. So let's just do that. So both of these will be feeding into these crates, which will feed up here, which will feed this belt. So it's kind of a temporary solution until we can get a few more electric drills in place. But we'll do that next episode, so can all look forward to that. So, and now we're actually overproducing bottles, which is great. So it's too many bottles for these to take care of, which is what you want. You never want it to be starved. So yeah, so that'll do it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for coming out, and see you next time.